Heat checker.
Cunningham.
Get the ball. Get the ball. One more time. Cross. A logo again.
Oh, no.
She's back.
Oh my God!
Dynamic
This isn't real.
player in the game.
What?
9 points in 38 seconds for Caitlin. She hit all 3 threes. And not only 9, it's look at the depth on these field goal attempts. She's certainly feeling it. Left side, right side. Now come back to your favorite spot again. It doesn't matter if there's a hit.
What am I watching?
No undefeated record stays safe when a generational talent storms back into the spotlight. The New York Liberty, queens of the WNBA's perfect start, learned this the hardest way possible when Caitlin Clark rewrote what a comeback looks like. In just 38 seconds, an entire game plan crumbled, 8 records fell, and a blueprint for championship basketball emerged from chaos. This was no ordinary win. This was the fever sending a shockwave through the entire league. Anyone convinced Clark would ease back from injury witnessed a masterclass instead. Those believing this is only the beginning are flooding comment sections to prove it. Drop a CC record breaker below if this comeback changed everything. Hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up. This story breaks more than just records.
Caitlin pulls left wing, the right wing, 30-plus feet. Logo crosses over, watch it. Oh my goodness! She is back!
Back in the lineup, I'm ready to go.
I think you're just excited more than anything. You know, it gets kind of difficult when you prepare for a game. Obviously, when I'm on the bench, still knowing the scout, knowing everything that the other team's going to do, and still trying to mentally prepare and go through everything like I'm going to play, even though I knew I wasn't going to play. So, you know, doing that, but also knowing I was going to be able to be active today, I think gives you a little extra juice. So I'm certainly excited just to get back out there, get playing, and really good opportunity for us at home here, coming off of a loss. So it's a big game.
The New York Liberty stood as the league's immovable object, an undefeated fortress rolling over opponents with surgical precision. 9 straight victories turned preseason hype into cold reality. This roster defended like a brick wall and attacked with a rhythm few could disrupt. Teams studied hours of film, tweaked rotations, tried new matchups. None of it mattered. Each night ended the same. High-ranked challengers humbled and trailing by 20 before the final buzzer. Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquil Jones didn't just play basketball. They orchestrated clinics that left analysts asking not who could stop them, but whether anyone would dare try. In locker rooms across the league, whispers grew louder. New York might run the table untouched. But beneath the flawless record, tiny fractures waited for the right player to exploit them, and that player had been sidelined, recovering and watching, calculating every weakness that no other star could expose alone.
You played the Liberty. There was obviously a frustrating ending. What lessons can you take from that experience, and how can that be applied to this, even though I know obviously Liberty look a little different with 2 starters out?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly you take time and score situations, you know, different versions of handling runs, offensively, defensively. Margin for error is small against a team like New York, and you know, every play matters. You know, every time we send them to the free throw line matters. Every rebound matters. You know, we can't afford to have empty possessions on the offensive end of the floor. You know, you've got to play your A game.
Caitlin Clark's absence weighed heavy on the Fever's ambitions. A strained quad robbed Indiana of its engine, leaving teammates to battle giants without their sharpest weapon. Yet while the Liberty extended an unbeaten streak, Clark's recovery turned into quiet preparation. Each game missed became fuel. Scout reports memorized, tendencies dissected. Every mental rep built a hidden arsenal.
So I think we continue to learn lessons from the first time we played them and from our last game against Atlanta. You know, every single day that we move forward. You know, I think they're a different team. Certainly, we're going to be a different team having C and Sophie back on the floor. And you know, we're going to tip the ball up and go out, and we're going to give it everything that we have.
When cleared for action on June 14th, doubt hovered among fans and analysts alike. Would the star guard test the leg cautiously or ignite fireworks immediately? Few foresaw the second option, an immediate assault on the very team nobody else could dent. Clark's return wasn't just medical clearance. It was a calculated gamble that her presence alone could fracture the Liberty's myth of invincibility.
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the WNBA. The defending champion and unbeaten New York Liberty coming to town for the second time this year. as we get ready for this game. And yes, she is back. Caitlin Clark will indeed be playing today. Missed the last 5 games with a strained quad, taking on the Liberty off to their best start ever. Sabrina Ionescu and company in this big Commissioner's Cup game as well. And as usual, all the seats are filled here.
That risk transformed a routine matchup into the league's most stunning turnaround yet, reminding everyone that one transcendent player can flip an entire season's script in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, we have an opportunity in front of us right now. I feel like this is like we're starting a new season. You guys, I'm so proud of how resilient we've been up until this point. We're going to continue to have to be. But right now, we have an opportunity to continue to take a step forward. Okay, this can be a springboard for us, right? We're marrying energy and effort with execution. Every single possession matters. Hit singles. Hit singles. Make the easy play. All right? Make one another better. Okay? It's our time. It's our time. Here we go. Together, 3, 1, 2, 3. Together.
Inside Gamebridge Fieldhouse, the Liberty defense locked eyes on Caitlin Clark, convinced every scouting clip covered her range and tempo. Then the opening flurry hit. 3 logo threes in 38 seconds shredded New York's confidence like paper in a storm. The first bomb dropped from 34 feet, brushing nothing but net. The second, a casual pull-up from 31 feet, identical result. The third, fired without hesitation, silenced Liberty's bench and ignited a roar so deafening the arena walls trembled.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from 2 players with incredible up. Ball from Cunningham. Clark, another long 3. She's back.
In less than a minute, Clark erased an 11-point deficit solo, resetting the scoreboard and rewriting the Liberty's mental script. Veteran defenders froze, rotations collapsed, and for the first time all season, the undefeated squad looked vulnerable. What analysts once praised as an impenetrable defense lay scattered by a single player's audacity to test its limits. Fans knew they witnessed history before the first quarter horn even sounded. But this was no fluke, it was a message.
Rebound fever, Cunningham got knocked to the floor. Caitlin pulls left wing, buries it! She is back! 24-18, fever down. Caitlin now from the right wing, 30-plus feet, good again! No one else but Caitlin Clark! Sedantis, handoff, Caitlin from the logo, crosses over, launches. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding?
Most dynamic player in the game. 9 points in 38 seconds for Caitlin. She hit all 3 threes. And not only 9 in 30, but look at the depth on these field goal attempts. She's certainly feeling it.
Caitlin Clark didn't just drain logo threes. She obliterated benchmarks that once seemed untouchable. By halftime, the stat sheet glowed with 25 points, the highest single-half total of her career. 7 three-pointers rained down by game's end, a new personal high that forced Liberty defenders to guard territory no other player dared to claim. The numbers alone told a story even skeptics couldn't deny. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. A stat line no WNBA star, not even Candace Parker, Diana Taurasi, or Maya Moore, had ever assembled in one game.
And Cunningham is
Caitlin
down
from the logo. Oh my God!
But they got Caitlin Clark to fire away from 3. And Cunningham just now getting up as she stayed down near the free throw line on the other end.
Okay, why did he take that? Oh my God! And of course, Marine Johannes countered it. Not the logo, but this is why I love
the logo. We got a shootout. We got a shootout.
Oh my God! No!
With this, Clark joined Cynthia Cooper, Simone Augustus, and Elite Company as the 4th fastest player to cross 850 career points, doing it in 45 games while others needed twice that span. Analysts scrambled to rewrite narratives mid-broadcast. The unstoppable Liberty suddenly looked mortal. The torch wasn't being passed gently. Clark ripped it free, leaving a trail of shattered records behind her. While Clark's logo-range fireworks grab headlines, the real revelation came from the Fever's supporting cast playing their best basketball when it mattered most. Lexie Hull delivered a stat line that dwarfed every previous game of her career. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, and shooting percentage all peaked in the same night. Her lethal accuracy from deep spaced the floor, so wide that Liberty's rotations fell apart trying to cover both Hull and Clark simultaneously. Aaliyah Boston, redefining the center position, orchestrated the offense with vision more common in elite point guards. Her 4+ assists per game lead all WNBA centers, turning simple post plays into creative passing clinics. Kelsey Mitchell, ever reliable under pressure, silenced every Liberty comeback attempt with cold-blooded threes and slashing drives through elite defenders. Off the bench, Sydney Colson steadied the ship, dishing dimes and scoring in critical moments that demanded calm execution. Together, these overlooked pieces elevated Indiana from dangerous underdog to undeniable threat. What unfolded on that floor wasn't random brilliance. It was a masterclass in how to dismantle a giant piece by piece. Indiana's coaching staff countered New York's suffocating pick and roll with sharp defensive switches and aggressive help rotations, denying mismatches that normally fuel the Liberty's offense. Ball movement turned sticky defenses into spectators as the Fever found open shooters again and again. No wasted possessions, no panic when pressure mounted. Every cut, pass, and screen executed with a calm that rattled New York's confidence. Stephanie White's mantra of resilience proved more than a slogan. Each player absorbed Clark's energy and fed it back tenfold. When the Liberty surged in the third quarter, old habits might have seen Indiana crumble. Not this time. The Fever answered every run with one of their own, proving this wasn't a one-woman show but a blueprint every contender dreams of, a superstar setting the tone, role players stepping into bigger shoes, and a defense smart enough to force the unstoppable to second-guess itself. The Liberty's perfect streak didn't just snap, it collapsed under a performance that reshaped how rivals view Indiana. Once a scrappy underdog scraping for playoff hope, the Fever now stand branded as a legitimate threat capable of dismantling any so-called super team. Across the league, coaching staffs are rewatching every possession, searching for cracks that Indiana widened into canyons. Commentators who once dismissed the Fever as Caitlin Clark's personal highlight reel now echo a new reality. This roster carries depth, chemistry, and a ruthless hunger to flip the power structure overnight.
The New York Liberty came out and threw the first punch in this quarter. For the Liberty to make this a single-digit game has been impressive here.
I think the way we responded when they went on that run in the third quarter, like we had to figure out how to play through it and go on a run of our own. And in the past, like that's kind of where we would crumble. That's exactly where we crumbled. But today we really stuck together. We went on our own run.
Mitchell trying to blow by. Everybody does and gets the foul.
Bounce pass, right wing Hull, wide open three. Of course! Clark to Hull, open lane, and she scores off the glass.
Caitlin challenged Sably and won it.
Opponents will brace for logo threes, but the true danger lies in the synergy forged behind Clark's heroics. When Lexie Hull, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell mirror that energy, no lead remains safe, no defensive scheme feels reliable. This game didn't just dethrone the Liberty, it marked a seismic shift. From this night forward, every contender must game plan for an Indiana squad that knows exactly how to shock the WNBA's elite.
Clark nails it. A 17-0 run. Caitlin Clark now with 7 threes on the afternoon.
I thought Sid was fantastic today. She makes 2 huge threes for us in the second half. Soph was fantastic.
Final score, Fever 102, Liberty 88. And Caitlin Clark's return. Indiana fans, elated and amazed. The Fever are the first team to defeat the Liberty in 2025.
June 14th didn't just produce another win on the schedule, it carved a milestone into WNBA history. 8 records fell under Caitlin Clark's watch. A perfect Liberty streak turned to dust, and the Indiana Fever announced themselves as more than a one-player phenomenon. Each highlight, from Hull's sniping to Boston's surgical passing, showcased a blueprint other teams now fear. Relentless ball movement, smart defensive shifts, and a belief that no lead is too big to erase. This clash wasn't about an upset, It was a declaration that the balance of power in the WNBA can tilt on a single star's shoulders when a whole team believes.
Even down!
Good job. No, that we get.
Good job. Squad needed it. Played Fever way. I love it. More of them.
The Fever now sit atop the Commissioner's Cup standings, eyes locked on proving this wasn't lightning in a bottle, but a standard for every game ahead. Fans and rivals alike will remember the night the Liberty's code cracked and the Fever's legend took root. Drop CC Record Breaker in the comments if this moment-proved greatness is only getting started. Smash that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell. The next chapter might just break even more records.